Hello, my name is Ben Veach, and welcome to Shuad Speaks, the show with a confusing title based on an inside joke with friends who aren't even in the video. What if I told you there was a band in the late 60s that went unappreciated in their time? A band that released Kurt Cobain's fifth favorite album, and who Frank Zappa called better than the Beatles. And what if I told you they sounded like this?
Oh, the rich people want what the poor people's got, and the poor people want what the rich people's got, and the skinny people want what the fat people's got, and the fat people want what the skinny people's got.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Shags. As you can probably guess, the Shags aren't famous for their tight musicianship or skilled songwriting like the Fab Five, but more so for just being abrasively terrible. The thing is, their 1969 album, Philosophy of the World, is actually surprisingly listenable, and it's gone on to become the musical equivalent of a B-movie like Plan 9 from Outer Space or The Room.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
The story of the Shags is about as crazy as you'd think. A man named Scott Wiggins got a palm reading from his dying mother. Yeah. About as crazy. The mother foretold that Scott would marry a strawberry blonde woman, have 2 sons after she died, and his daughters would go on to be a famous rock band. Now, the first 2 miraculously came true, so Scott set out to make the 3rd one a reality. He eventually pulled his daughters out of school and kinda held them captive until they became a famous rock band. Basically like a really fucked up version of the Matrix Spoon Kids.
These are the other potentials. You can wait here.
The result is these girls trying their damnedest in a really awful situation, and coming up with a deeply flawed but incredibly honest result. But unlike generic pop music or offensive death metal, the Shags are inoffensively terrible in a way we rarely see. In a world saturated by mediocrity with a couple grains of greatness, it's actually a privilege to see something just this bad.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
In a way, the Shags is one of the most unique sounds you will ever hear. And I kinda love them for it.
Foot, don't live here no more. My pal foot, always likes to roam.
And in a way, I think there could be some validity to the Frank Zappa quote. I mean, they might be better than the Beatles. Obviously not in any conventional musical way, but just hang with me. In postmodernism, the awesomely bizarre branch of late 20th century philosophy, there exists this idea of meta-narratives, or the structural frameworks that we use to explain the world around us. Postmodernism says that we explain complex things like world economies or skin color with simpler narratives like capitalism or race. In a way, the idea of good music is a meta-narrative. There's no reason that good music has to be played in time or in tune. Those are all ideas we've come up with after years and years of cultural development. And you might say, well, of course music should be played in tune. That's just the way it is. But it isn't the way it is in a lot of non-Western cultures. For instance, Japanese music used to sound like this. And what the Shags do is question the meta-narrative of what makes good music. And I know my love for the Shags is partially unexplainable. I've attempted to show the philosophy of the world to tons of people, and what I've realized is if you don't like the first second, you're not going to like the rest of the album. There's something that just hits some people on a subconscious level that doesn't affect all others, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it's my type B personality rewarding effort more than results, or maybe it's my weird internet post-ironic sense of humor, but for some reason I just love the Shags, and I can use all the postmodern analysis I want, but nothing can quite explain that. After all, if I can honestly, truly, and legitimately enjoy the philosophy of the world just as much as I can Rubber Soul or Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, why can't they be better than the Beatles?